In this video, I'll be covering all the attacker weapons in the game and ranking them from S to D. Let's get right into it. Sorry if I do get some of them wrong where the guns, when I look at them, I think I know them all by a little image, but I'm going to try my best. So this is the Commando. The Commando is actually statistically, and when you use it, quite a balanced and great gun. However, I don't know what's missing about it. I don't know if it's a fire rate. I honestly do think it's slept on. I think it's because it's on IQ and IQ's got the G8 and it's LMG metas at the moment. But I do honestly believe when I use this gun, I do think it's an A tier gun. And this is because of the mag size, the fire rate and the damage. It's kind of got everything you want. It's not the best. I'm going to try to talk about these guns in the sense of the LMG meta is happening, but not that it is going to eventually in a couple weeks, months go away. What I'm trying to say is, I'm going to rank these guns as if LMGs weren't in the game right now. Obviously they are, and I will still rank LMGs how they deserve to be ranked, but let's just try to say LMGs aren't in the game, because I think every gun will slightly improve when LMGs get nerfed. Moving on to the 5.56, I'm pretty sure this is. I hope I got this gun right. This is Osa and Thermite's gun. Honestly, for me, this is going to piss people off, I think. I don't like this gun. Every time I use it, it's too slow for me. I don't mind the mag and the damage size. I just don't think it's that good. Honestly, on Osa, I always use the PDW over this gun. Obviously, I don't personally like Thermite that much. I don't really like his style. He's my least favorite hard breacher. I don't enjoy the gun. If I had a 1.5 on this gun, I think I'd put it into B/A. But for me, it's just a C tier gun. I think there's many guns that are much better than this. Let me know what you think of this one, because I'm curious. Sophia's AR is actually not as bad as people make it out to be. It's probably a C tier gun as of right now because of the recoil. A lot of people are put off by it because when you first start using it, it's actually a nightmare, but once you start playing about 4 or 5 games of it, you'll kind of get the gist of it. It still has the damage and fire rate like the gun did before. All that's happened is more recoil. So if you can control the recoil, the gun principally is still good. Obviously, if it still had the same recoil, it would be an S/A tier, but I'm going to try to put it in the middle tier because I do think the recoil is still a bit too much, but do you know what I mean? I still think it's a good gun. You just have to get used to the big kick. This is Fuse's LMG. Yeah, it's not S tier, that's for sure. I think all the LMGs in this video are going to just go into A tier, apart from the 2 that I think you know will be. I just think, yeah, the mag size, the new recoil, all that stuff, it's just not as good, that one. A tier. I don't want to go over LMGs because we all don't like them, I would say, so we're just going to put them and move on. To AK-12, the AK-12 is probably, I mean, statistically is the best gun, I think, in the game, damage-wise and everything. It hits like a truck. I love the gun. I think everybody loves it. It's fantastic on Ace. Yeah, great gun, nothing more to say about it. That's a S tier gun in Siege, as it always will be. I find it really tricky to rank the AK-47 or whatever you want to call it. I think I'm going to put it in the B tier. It's a little bit like, it is better than Sophia AR right now, I think, but I prefer the ARX still, but there's times that gun comes really useful. I think any gun for me that packs a punch but has a slow rate of fire, I just don't really enjoy them as much, if that makes sense. I still prefer the more high rate fire guns because of the whole headshot, you know, one-shot headshots. All you need is one bullet to hit the head, so it fires slower, do you know what I mean? More time to kill, all that stuff. So I think it's fair. I think it's fair. Yeah, this gun's a D tier. Honestly, I can only really say I've used it about 5 times in my entire life. But why would you use it when you've got the M4? Do you know what I mean? It just not much to talk about this. The single fire guns in this game are always going to be lower down. AR-33 is one of those weird guns again. I think B tier is basically going to be where weird guns belong. Well, I don't think they're bad at all. I would use them, but I don't think they're like, oh my god, they make you play better kind of guns. You get what I'm saying? They're a little bit like, oh, they're good, but there's either like the fire rate isn't there, or the mag size isn't there, or whatever reason there is. Do you know what I mean? The recoil, whatever it is, just isn't there. And that's going to be my B tier. So it's basically going to be S tier, god guns. A tier, like, you know, oh my god, they're good, but they're not quite S tier. B tier is good, but not, you know, C tier, pretty bad, and then D tier, I wouldn't use. This is the ARX. The ARX for me is an A tier gun easily. I would honestly put this into S tier, but I just can't justify it because of the bullets. This has 21 bullets, I'm pretty sure. If it had 27, 28, 29, 30, plus obviously it would easily go into S tier. That's the only thing. There are times where, not often, but there are times where I've died because I've ran out of bullets on that gun. So I can't really say it. Like the AK has that 30 plus bullets. I think most guns in Siege at around the 20 bullet mark struggle to get into the S tier just because of that reason. The AUG is one of those guns that I actually hated in Siege straight away. I'm going to put it in the B tier, but I want you to listen to me. I truly do think it's an A tier gun for everything that it is, but it's just a little bit funky and a little bit weird. And yeah, just I think B is fair, but I do think it can go into A tier as well. I do think people sleep on the AUG a bit too much. I do think it's really good. You just got to kind of get used to it. You got to stay ADS with this gun. That's my biggest thing I can say with this gun. If you keep on ADSing, re-ADSing, not like the, you know, like Roni with the angled, those kind of things, how snappy it is. This gun feels like it takes about 4 years to ADS, so that's probably what you want to do with this gun, is to stay ADS. That's my biggest tip. I'm pretty sure this is Warden Shotgun, and if I had to rank it in Attacker like list, I think it's Warden Shotgun or the Boss G. I can't tell. I think it's either way. Let's say it's both for the sake of this video. It's still C tier because it's a shotgun. Any shotguns will never really be high with all these other guns because obviously the range and all that stuff, you know, all that shenanigans. So we'll just put it in shenanigans. That's a new word. We'll just put it in C tier. Jackal's gun is easily S tier. It has everything you want. Again, like I said before, damage, fire rate, mag size, everything you want. Great gun. Yeah, S tier gun as it gets. If you guys are real Rescue fans, you would have seen the new video on Rescue 100, which is using DMR for 24 hours. And I actually really kind of felt that DMRs are slept on. If when LMGs get nerfed and ARs, let's say ARs hypothetically get nerfed, I think DMRs are a shout. Some, not all of them, there's some really bad ones. So I think it's fair for me to put this into B tier. A tier would be lying to you, but B tier, I think it's viable. Make sure to put a laser sight on it, because the hip fire spread on DMR is what really makes it insane. All you got to do with the DMR is be good on the trigger finger and that kind of stuff, but obviously the one bullet at a time is what makes it bad. But I don't think they're as bad as C tier guns so far, not as bad as this gun. I'm pretty sure this is Buck's gun, and Buck's gun for me is C8 is called, is a tier gun for me. It's great. Honestly, could probably go into S tier, but just something about it doesn't quite click with me, and I think it's the rate of fire. I think it is. I think some of you will probably fight it for S tier, but I think A tier is a fair list. It's kind of like the ARX for me. I love the gun, but I just don't, it doesn't feel as insane as the two guns above it and the other guns that will come. Yeah, this is the cameras. Yeah, what do I need to say about this? It's shocking. It's just, don't use it, please. Cali's gun, technically, for me, is also, could probably go either top of the D tier or just into C. I don't think any single fire rate sniper with that kind of time is a good gun. Like, I just don't think it is. I think if you gave Cali, like, I'm just waffling now. I think if you gave Cali, like, a fan, like the F2, she would be so much better. Obviously, that defeats the whole point of the character. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it's the gun that makes Cali a bit meh, and I understand it, but Siege is just, you don't sit back in the spawn very often and hold angles. Like, it just isn't what Siege is about a lot of the time, so I just can't rate the gun. I do think it's just a waste of a gun. Like, I do think sniper rifles just don't really belong in Siege unless the high fire rate. Like, I think Glaz's gun is much better, which we'll get into. Zero's gun is actually, honestly, I feel like I shouldn't lie to you guys. I think this gun is S tier. Every time I use it, I'm like, damn, man, Zero is so slept on. He's the most slept on attacker in terms of gadget-wise, and I think his gun just says it all as well. He's got the MP7 as well. Excuse my voice. MP7 as well. I don't want to get this wrong, but I feel like someone told me that this gun has the same fire rate as like Jackal's gun and has more damage. I think it has a 1.5. The reload's pretty solid as well. Yeah, this is just an S tier gun. I'm sorry, guys. If you haven't used it, please try it out. It's honestly ridiculously slept on. Another S tier gun is Twitch's gun. Yeah, I don't know what to say about Twitch's gun. I've always loved Twitch's gun. I'm a Twitch main, so I'm a little bit of bias in here, but I do think it's still an absolute laser. It has just enough bullets to not run out of bullets where you can get 2-3 kills easily with it. The reload's very quick, considering as well, and I do just think it's got 1.5. It's got everything you need. Yeah, I can't complain. That's a prime gun for Rainbow Six Siege. This gun is actually, for me, on knock, is an A tier gun. I think this gun is ridiculously solid. Has no recoil, literally negative recoil when you use it. Yeah, damage is what it lacks on, but nice fire rate, and I think it's got a quick reload as well. Nice little bzz gun. I do think it's A tier. I think B tier would be a little probably fair, but I like it. So I'm gonna put it into A tier. The G36C is a tricky one because I do think, again, it's a good gun, so it's gonna go into A tier, but I do think there's better options, and I do think the thing for me with the G36C is it needs to be put on an operator where it's its main gun, because I really don't, when you use it on Iana, it's like, when you use it on Iana, ARX is just better in my opinion, and when you use it on Ash, still the other R4C is still better as well in my opinion. You just have to get used to the recoil a bit. So I just haven't felt like I've had the true experience of what the gun could live up to if it was the main gun. Yeah, the G8 is S tier. I mean, I don't even need to. I feel like I don't really want to speak about these LMGs like these ones. I might as well take Sophia's LMG as well. I don't really feel like I want to speak on these too long because they're just RS tier, and yeah, I just don't want to speak on these guns too long because I just think they are just fully S tier. Their magazine count obviously on the Sophia LMG is absolutely insane. I can't even believe the gun's got 150 bullets. The G8 has got 51 bullets, high fire rate, insane. Everything about it, no recoil. These guns, yeah, they're just, I really hope by the time you guys are watching this video they've either been nerfed or they're just not as good anymore. Like, I really hope, because they're just, I get a bit boring for me now. The L8 is an A tier gun. The only thing that the L8 kind of it sleeps on in terms of like the gun stats is just the fire rate. The damage is there, mag size is there, the reload is solid. It just is slow. It feels slow when you use it, especially when you use the other guns above it, like in this list. It still feels slow. I think correct me on this please, but I think the G8 shoots quicker than the L8, I think. So yeah, it's just good, but it just feels slightly clunky, a little bit slow at the moment. This is Gridlock's or Capitão's LMG, I think, and for me that one's the one where it's like it's okay, but it's not amazing. So it's going to go into B tier for me. Feels a little bit clunky, still decent because it's got all those bullets, but I'm sure the second LMGs get nerfed. This is going to go probably straight into the D tier. So it's B tier, but it's not really great like in that realm. Pretty sure this is Mav's gun, the M4, which is a tier gun. Everything you want from a gun. I literally played Mav for the gun before I played Mav for the gadget, if that makes sense. When I unlocked him, I loved the gun, I loved the nades, I loved everything about him. Didn't really know how to play his gadget. If you are unsure how to play Maverick properly and you are watching, I have got a video on my channel that goes through that as well, so make sure to check that out. It's the first video on the channel, so you can't miss it. But everything about this gun is fantastic, so I won't go on about it anymore because it's just got everything you need in a gun. This one's Dokubi's DMR, which is a B tier gun for me. It's solid. It's just a solid gun, but it's a DMR, so it's just tap 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 tap. If you got a good trigger finger, it'll work nicely for you. It's got nice sights on it. It has high, like DMRs are 2 to 3 shot kill in the body as well, so that's always a good thing about DMRs. Obviously the thing that slacks about them is just one bullet at a time, so it depends how good you are with your finger. It sounds kind of sus. I can't tell what this gun is and it's really annoying me, so I'm gonna have to leave that to the end and try to guess what it is. This is the MP7, which is on 0. Yeah, MP7's a great gun. It doesn't feel as good on attack as it does on defense, but it's still an A tier gun. Yeah, it's just an A tier gun. It's great, but it's funny how guns on defense can feel so much more stronger than they do on attack, and this gun feels very strong on defense, but on attack it's like so A tier is fair. This is Glaz's sniper rifle, which I just went over Cali's. I still think Glaz's is better than Cali's, so I'm going to have to put it in C tier. I do think with the Glaz buff at the moment, it feels kind of strong. I think the fire rate of this is what beats this. I think if this had the same fire rate as this, which obviously kind of hard to do with a cog back sniper, if that makes sense, but I think this would probably be above this sniper, if that makes sense. But C tier is a fair placement for it. This is Capitão's gun, the Para, whatever the numbers are. Actually, quite a good gun. Just a little bit slow on the fire rate again, but not B tier worthy, I don't think. I think it's quite a fun gun to use. It sounds different, it's fun. I know it sounds doesn't really count in the tier list, but I do think it's worth an A tier position for me. This is where my little bias stuff comes in. I think the PDW, honestly, is one of the most slept on guns in the game. For me, it's top 5 guns in this game. The fire rate is absolutely insane. It has negative recoil. You can run angled on it, flash, 1.5. You can be aggressive, quick, everything that you want to be. If you're a slow player, obviously PDW, I don't think it's for you. You can keep shooting. Honestly, there's times where I've killed someone where I've just fired 50 bullets, 51 technically, but 50 in one kind of area. No one's peeping in the last bullet. It's just headshot, tap them. Do you know what I mean? Because it just doesn't move, so I don't even feel like I have to concentrate on pulling it down. So yeah, I think S is a very fair place to put it. If you haven't used it on Osa, it makes me play Osa basically. I think the CZ is still kind of a bit better on Jackal, but you can use that on Jackal as well. This is Sense's gun, which I think I forgot the name of it now. You'll have to tell me what it is in the comments. But yeah, honestly, this gun was, oh man, when I saw it, I was like, oh, let's go. It's gonna be like a PDW slash, you know, like a PDW, slightly better PDW with slightly slower fire rate but more damage. I was like, let's go, but the recoil just ain't it. Fire rate ain't it either. It's fine. It probably is top of C tier. If it was in a B tier, it could potentially, but I just don't like it. It's not a guns that make you work for it like that. With guns that make you work for it like that, in terms of like fighting the gun and you can't concentrate as much on the game. Like I'm talking like, I know I'll put Sophia's AR in B, but like this feels like it's more work than Sophia's AR for less reward, if that makes sense. C tier is where it will belong. The R4C, honestly, if I have to be honest, I would genuinely put the R4C into A tier, but I think for the average player, now this is what I tried to do with my tier list, to try to make it a balanced kind of tier list, is that it would not be fair if I put the R4C into A tier, because it is kind of hard at the moment, and it probably does need a little recoil buff in terms of like it's way too kicky with the first couple bullets, but if you start pulling down before you shoot, then it cancels out. Obviously the stats of the R4C is still the same as when it was before, so yeah, it's fine. The gun's good. I think for me it goes into A, but I think for every player that plays this game, it's probably no more than a B tier. This gun's a weird one because I don't actually think it's that bad. Honestly, it could go into B tier or could go into C tier. Honestly, the C tier is kind of missing some guns, so I'm going to have to put it into C tier. No, never mind. I'm just doing that to be silly. It's probably a B tier gun. It's got good ammo count, good damage, and good fire rate. Like, just meh in those categories. Not amazing, not worth, you know, playing good luck for the gun. So it's B tier is fair. Let's remember what I said about the B tier. It's all just guns that are pretty could be used, not bad, not great. Do you know what I mean? All have reasons why they aren't higher in the B, like higher than B tier. The spear is really funny because the spear is absolutely insane on Thunderbird, but it does not feel insane. It does feel good though. I have a tricky one with this because my natural gut wants to put it into top of A, but it has very, I feel like this is how I'm going to deal with it. It's an A tier gun for this tier list, but the second these LMGs get nerfed, it goes into that S tier, I think. We'll see. It'll be funny how it plays out, but I think that's how it goes. Hibana's gun is... Hibana's gun I always have a tricky thing with, because I truly believe it's an S tier gun. Just that mag size. That's literally the only bad thing about this gun is the mag size. But I don't have a problem with it, if that makes sense, because I still think if you've got 20 bullets in a gun, you can easily get 2 kills. And you know what I mean? It's about not spraying with those guns. If you're using one of these guns that only has 20 bullets, you don't want to spray with it. Like, you just don't want it. Like with these LMGs and these PDWs and those kind of guns, you're naturally more inclined to press your mouse or trigger down. With these guns, you got to be more reserved. Do you know what I mean? You got to only commit when you're committing to like a 1v1 or those kind of gun battles. And obviously, not that this is about this, we're talking about main primary weapons, but with Hibana, she has the bearing secondary, which is easy to swap out and very quick fire rate. So, do you know what I mean? I still think it's an S tier. I think it'd be kind of unfair to not put it into the S tier category. I can't figure out these two guns, so I'm going to leave them here. I think this might be Black... I'm going to say this is Blackbeard's now, because I think I've just figured it out. If this is Blackbeard's AR, let's say it is, I don't think it's any higher than C. I just don't like the gun. It's only got 20 odd bullets. I think it's slow as hell. I think it has got good damage, but it's just slow and bad bullets. That is a C tier gun written all over it. Ying's, well, I think it's an LMG. Ying's LMG is probably an A tier gun. It's got the 1.5, it's got great sight, it's got good damage, no recoil again. Yeah, just an A tier gun all around. Lower on the A tier, but definitely worth using, especially at the moment. And I think when they nerf LMGs, I don't think Ying's gun's going to be part of that. So still a gun to, you know, I think it's a good gun for Ying. I think it works well in tandem with a gadget as well. So A is a very solid place for that gun to go. This is Lion's primary weapon, which is going to be the same as Ying's LMG or whatever you want to call it, because I think these guns that have high mags, like the drum mags with like 50 odd bullets in, not much recoil, very solid damage and fire rate. It's just a prime A weapon. Like, that's what you want from a weapon. Obviously, it doesn't quite go into the S tier because of the fire rates or whatever other reason there is with these guns, but I think A is a very solid place for it to go. And honestly, I do play a Lion sometimes because of that gun, because I find that gun very fun to use. I think you might be wondering, where is Finka's LMG? And I don't think I have it on this tier list. If you are wondering where Finka's LMG is, it just obviously goes into S tier. I'm trying to figure out what this gun is, and I don't actually know where it is or what it is, and I hope you guys can let me know what it is, and then I can tell you in the comments. I'm looking at it, and I think it's a DMR is what I'm going to assume, because I can't really see from the image. It looks barrely, looks like those mags seem to DMR. So if it's a DMR, it's probably going to be C or B tier. I don't know which one it is. Let's say it's Twitch's DMR, because I think it might be, or maybe that was, I don't know. Let's say it's Twitch's DMR. That's a B tier DMR. It's higher than the other DMR. That's my list. I don't think I missed any guns. If I did miss any other guns, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll respond to each comment and tell you what I think it is. It's hard to get these tier lists with all the guns in. Shout out to CJ who made this one for me, and thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you appreciate this. Let me know which one you disagree and agree with the most, and I'll catch you in the other video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and see you.